Alright, in this video we're going to be coding some of the time countdown function. We're going to demonstrate how this can be done. We're going to code some quiz and we're going to use the threading module where we're going to time ourselves, see how long it takes for us to answer some questions. We're going to be putting the time to sleep and then give it some time for asking the questions, and then some time for the user to then think about the questions, and then over a period of time given, we're going to see how many questions the user can answer within that period of time, which is something very good. You can use that as a game between your peers and see who wins, who answered the most questions correctly, and how many points are grabbed within that period of time that you set. You have to set the time, so we're going to allow you to set the time, or the gamers, the players, to set the time, and then the game shoots on. Then you ask questions. This could be developed in any other way. It could add many more questions, but now we're just going to do the demo of it, which is very basic. Okay, so to do that, we just jump to our idle. I'm using the idle that comes with Python. It's a basic interface. It's a very basic editor. So without further ado, let's just jump and get started with the coding. So before I start, I need to import the time module. So I say at the top there under the file menu, I say import time, and I could also say import. I have to import the threading module. I say import threading. Then I come down here. I set the time for the quiz to go on, how long we want the countdown to run. So I say input time is equal to, I say int, I put into this function. Now let's just break it down. This is a beginner code, so we don't have to go as if we just some kind of celebrity coders. All right, so I say input, I invoke the input function where I then ask the user to input the duration of the quiz or of the countdown. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do here. So I say enter the time in seconds. Okay, that's what we're asking, and whatever the time the user inputs, we save that in input time in this variable called input time. But we need to, because we're going to be performing some computation on the time, on the input time, whatever the user input in this console is going to be read by Python as a string. So if the user puts in 10, the Python doesn't read what is input into the console as a number, it reads it as a 10 string. So that will be very difficult to perform further computation on that input. So what we need to do here is we need to cast it into an integer or into number. So we say input casting means to convert from string to integer to number, so that we can then perform computations on the number. So we say input time is equal to int. To do that, we need to pass it inside this int function. So that's basically what we're trying to say. Then we come down here and then we define a countdown function. So we count, let me put it here. So we say define a countdown. Let me put one word down. Countdown function. Okay, so I say def countdown. All right, that's how we define a function. I say global. This is a global variable. Global means I need to use it outside this function. That's why I'm calling it global variable. Global count time. So I say count time is equal to input time. So I'm transferring this value of the input time that was given by the user into the count time variable. Okay, so then I say while count time. So what that means is while count time is greater than 0, or while count time is not, we have to be counting from the input time in seconds. So if the user puts 10, the count time is going to be read as 10 seconds. If the user puts 4, is going to be 4 seconds. If the user put 20, the computer is going to read that as 20 seconds. That's why it says here that enter the time in seconds. So you're going to put whatever you put is going to be read as time in seconds. So, and we're going to be counting it down. So we're going to be decrementing that amount that the user inputs by 1 each time. So, and it's going to be decreasing. So when we say while count time, what we're basically saying, that's not the count time, that's the variable like that. What we're basically saying is that what is it? It's count time. Let me copy and paste. Let me make sure I have my variable spellings correct. Okay, to avoid some stupid errors. While count time simply means while count time is greater than 0, not yet 0. That's what it basically means. So it means the same thing. While count time is greater than 0, you have to perform this following function. So we say minutes. We are unpacking. This is what we call unpacking. Python minutes, seconds. I'm declaring two variables called minutes and seconds, and I'm unpacking this one. I'm find the div mode of this count time in 60 seconds. So I'm dividing by seconds. Whatever the user puts in, I'm dividing by seconds, 60 milliseconds. Okay, that's what it is. So then I say timer. This is another variable, is equal to let me put it my f formatting here, f string. I'll put it like that. I want to display that. So I want to display minutes and seconds. Okay, so we're putting in seconds. So I want to determine how many digits should be in the minutes and the seconds variable. So I say minutes. Then I say 02D. Okay, decimal places, so to speak. And I say seconds, like that. And I say 02D as well. Okay, I'm formatting that in that sense. I forgot to close my my quotation mark there. Then let me print a timer, and let's see how it works out there. So I say print timer. So I'm printing that timer out there. Then I'm putting the timer to sleep. Okay, so what am I doing here? So I come here, I say time.sleep. So I say time.sleep. Sleep how many milliseconds? Sleep 1 second. Time.sleep 1 second, 0.0. And say it like that. Alright, so that's my timer. Then I want to print when it is over, while this condition is no longer true. That is when count time has decreased up to 0, so it's no longer greater than 0, while no longer count time, then we have to print time up. Print time up, time's up. Okay, something like that. Okay, let's see that. Okay, now that's what we have. Now let's try and run this program by calling this function here. Why am I not? Oh, something is wrong here. Something is definitely wrong. I'm supposed to go down. Let's print this. All right, it's wrong because I said double quotation mark here, and here I'm giving one quotation mark. Okay, you can choose any of this, so I say one quotation mark either way. So yes, so what is it? It's wrong there. So let's see what's happening there. Something wrong somewhere. So here I'm minutes. I'm unpacking here. All right, everything seems good there. Now I'm timing here. Blah 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 blah. Everything is good here. Sex and so on. Print timer. That is so time, minutes and sex. That is seconds. And okay, I'm unpacking there. Everything seems fine. Okay, now let me call this function and see what happens. Let me call this function and see what happens. So count down. All right, so count down. So let me save and run. See what things were broken there. Yes, I know something was wrong somewhere. Time's up. Okay, so this word something time is up. Let's say time is up. Okay, time is up. Okay. Yeah, that's why it wasn't working well. I knew something was wrong off somewhere there. Okay, so save and run. Okay, enter seconds. Let's say 10 seconds. Okay, so this is our count time, our countdown. Is it even counting? It's not counting. It's not counting. So it's never gonna stop. It's not gonna end. The loop will never end. That while loop will never cease to run, because we are not decrementing. So we need to decrement. After I put time to sleep 1 second, then we have to decrement the count time. We say count time, we use the decrement augmented operator, which is minus equals, what was that? It is minus equals 1, okay? Minus equals 1. This is the same as countdown is equal to countdown minus 1. That's the same thing, okay? Minus 1. Same expression, but you see this one is very short. So let's try this one first, the first one. Just to demonstrate, show that same thing. It gives the same result. So let's save this and run. Okay, so give time in seconds, 10 seconds. So we start to count. So it's counting down. Okay, that's our countdown time function. It's working. All right, and time is up. Okay. Now let's try the other way. Now let's use this other second. Just to demonstrate this operator, it means the same. So it's good to use the augmentation or the decrement operator, plus equals or plus minus equals, and so on. Instead of saying count time, it's called count time minus 1, count time minus 1, which is tedious to write. Adding unnecessary code in your coding base code line and so on. So let's save this one and run. We expect to have the same results. Okay. So we're running, it's counting down. That's what we're saying, basically the same thing. All right, so our countdown function is working. All right, time is up. Okay, so our countdown function is working. So let's use this shorter one. Get rid of this one. So it means the same thing. You now understand what that is. Okay. All right, so we have this function working, and we've called this function, and the function is working. Remember, you declare a function, you describe the function. All right, now you call the function before everything works. We've done that. Now let's define a function that set the threading, that runs the timer at the background while we perform our operation. Okay, so we need to let's have a function. Let's say we have a function that's a quiz, for example. Let's say we have quiz. Let's give our quiz def quiz quiz. Okay, that was, let's call it funky way, quizzy. Let's add another z there. Quiz is a function, we're defining that, and then we say now we say input text is equal to no, that's not what we want to do. First we want to say let's give a variable score is equal to 0. We're initializing a score there, a variable score that should be a number. Okay, and then we say why count time. You see why we declared this count time as a global variable, because we're now calling it outside. We're not calling it outside the function where it was declared. If we hadn't declared it as a global variable, we won't be able to call it outside of that function. So you cannot call the function here. Okay, this global now expands the scope of this count time function. Sorry, this count time variable. Without this scope, we won't be able to see this count time in here in this other function. So global makes it global to the whole program. Okay, so it can be seen by any function here. All right, it assumes that when you say global, it assumes that it was declared outside here. That's what it stands for. Okay, I could still declare it outside there, count time, but I just prefer to do it that way. It looks funky because I don't want to interfere with one. Maybe this one could get crazy. This input time could get crazy. I don't want whatever happens to the input time affects what is. So whatever the user inputs in here, in the input time, I transfer that into the count time. I don't want to work with the input time. No, we could use it somewhere or something can happen to it. So I don't want that. All right, so count time is equal to that. While count time, or while count time, remember we saw this as well. We could say while count time. That means while count time is greater than 0. Same thing. All right, to make it short, we just leave it like that. Okay, that's the same thing. It means the same thing. All right, while count time, okay, is greater than 0, we say we print an empty space there. We print an empty space, print empty print function there. All right, then we get that we print the title of our program. What's this program all about? We say general question, general quiz, or general knowledge. Yeah, let's just say general knowledge. Okay, general is that general? Yeah, knowledge, yeah, general knowledge. Okay, we say general knowledge. Then what do we do next? We say that we print another empty print function to give it a vertical space there. We saw that already. Okay, right, I need a light there, can see well. Give a space there, vertical space. Then we say we print questions. Let's say we have a bunch of questions. Let's say the first question, we're going to type out the first question here. We say print. No, that's not print. Print. What are we printing? We want to say question one. All right. And we want to print a bunch of underlining whatever it is. Let's say we say print. I'm going to show you a trick here. We want to print this. Let's say stars. I want to print stars. Do like this 25 times. Okay, like dash 25 times. Okay, just maybe 10, 25 times, whatever it is. Okay, so now let's see what's happening here. All right, so let's go down. Then we say time dot sleep, put it to sleep for 0.5 seconds. Okay, for half a second, sorry, 0.5 seconds. put time to sleep 0.5 seconds. No, time to sleep. After asking the question, let's put it to 1.0. 1.0 second. You can change it. You just see how it fits your program. 1.0 seconds or 1 second, it doesn't matter. I just like to put it 1.0 there. Let me just put 1. Like the 1.0 is ugly. Okay, let me just put sleep 1 here. What did I say? I said sleep 1.0. Let's take it sleep 1. Is that anywhere we call the time or the sleep function anymore? The thread? No, we didn't. So time sleep 1. Okay, after we slept 1, then we ask the question. Now we say print. All right. Okay, we say the first equation. We say which is the capital of the Republic of Ireland. That's a good question, right? Okay, now you have, it's a multiple choice question, so we say print. Oh no, we have to give time to sleep for the user to think about it and so on. So we give time dot sleep, another one. Okay, time dot sleep 1. Okay, now it's not sleep with big S. No, we don't need that there. All right, then we go again, and then after our time to sleep, that will give the multiple choice answers. That will say print. Okay, we print A. We say Belfast. Okay. Let's just copy this to there, and there was a time dot sleep half a second. So print. No, it's not. We're not print. Say time. Oh, come on, man. Time dot sleep. Time dot sleep. We give it 0.5 second. Okay, I now understand why I put 1.0 just to match this 0.5 kind of thing. You know, 1 sleep, 1, and yeah, that's why I put 1.0 there. So 1, 0.5, and things like that. All right, so we sleep there. Then we print this B choice. So let's copy this thing and paste. Tedious to type all the time. And paste again. Hope we don't make mistakes. Okay, now that was A. Now we have B. And what is our B there? B is London. Let's say London. And we have C there, the capital of Ireland. C, let's say what should be the capital. Well, let's just give 3 choices. Let's say Dublin. That should be the right one, obviously. Okay. But remember, the user doesn't know that. They don't see the choices. I don't know they see the choices, but they don't know which one to choose from. All right, so all right, so that was time to sleep. Okay, so we have that. So Dublin, and then we say time to sleep. 5 seconds Dublin. Then we say what's the answer? We're asking the user now to input the answer. So we say input. We say we have to please enter your answer. So please enter A, B, or A, B, or C to your answer. To please enter A, B, or C to your answer. To either A, B, or C to your answer. Okay, to your answer. Yeah, answer. Okay. All right, that's what we expect the user to do. And whatever the user inputs as the other A, B, or C as answer, we want to save this in a variable called answer or user answer. I'll just call it answer. And then we take that to compare with the proper answer if the user gets it right or wrong. So we say if count time is equal to 0, So what I'm doing here is I want to make sure if counter is equal to 0, then I say if. Normally this is what I do. Let me just do it this way so that you can understand. I say I should say if answer dot lower, I'll explain what this means or what this stands for. Dot lower is if answer dot lower is equal to C, which is the proper answer here, the letter corresponding to the correct answer, then if that's the case, we want to print out to the user correct. Let's put an exclamation mark there. Okay, we want to say correct, and then we want to augment the score. All right, so we say score. Remember, we initialize the score at 0. So it becomes 0 plus equals, we saw this augmentation, we saw that with the time decrement in the time function there. So now we are incrementing. This is the increment or augmentation operator. So we use the augmentation plus 10. Let's say plus 5. Let's say plus 5. Plus 5. Let's add 5 each time. Okay, let's just say 10 for easy computation, easy mental maths. Okay, so score is plus, we add each time the person gets the right answer, we add 10 to that. But or then this we say else if the user gets it wrong, we say print incorrect. Okay, we print that. All right, yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. But the thing is, if we do it like this, when the time is up while the question is still being asked, it will wait for the user to put the right and input the answer. And if the user puts in the answer after the time is up, it's gonna say time's up, but it's still gonna add up the score, and it's gonna add up the score to the user scores, even though the user answered the question after the time is up. So to make sure it doesn't add up if the user answers the question after the time is up, because if the time is up while the question was being printed, it will continue printing, and the operation will only stop when the user press the answer to that question that was being asked and press the enter key. Okay, so in this case, if that is the case, we don't want the answer, even though it is correct, we don't want it to be augmented into the scores of the user because it was out of the time span, and we don't want to print correct because the time was out. So we could say it's too late or time was up, but we're gonna get times up here. So, and this answer is already coming after times up. So when there is times up, when this thing was already printing, this thing will continue to print and wait for the user to enter the answer, even though this one has already been printed. But we don't want that when this one is printed while this one is running, whatever the user input at that time, even if it is correct, it shouldn't say correct, or it shouldn't augment the scores. It should say too late. So we put all this inside its own if statement. We check. So we say if so we say if count time is greater than 0, or we say if count time, we saw that, okay, or if count time, okay, if count time, we saw that already, then all these now go inside this if block. So this can only be done if there is still count time, a counter is still greater than 0. Else, this else here, we print oops, too late, my dear, too late. Okay, so that's what it is. Nothing will be printed. This one will be printed instead after, if the user is inputting the answer, entering the answer after time is up. So score won't augment it, and we won't have this. We'll have instead this after the time's up. Okay. Now after that, we have to say, we come up here. So we go out there and we come up here and we say, we put the time to sleep 2 seconds. So we say time dot sleep. Okay, we say sleep 2 seconds. Well, not 32, but 2. Okay, then we say we have to break out of this loop, because if we don't break out of this loop, even though the time is out, that's a different function. So when the time is out, we need to break out of the loop. So the time is out in a different function. We want to match that with this function. This function has run its course. Now we want to follow it. We say if this function runs its course, and then we want to break out of the loop as well. If not, it will continue to the second question. We don't want to continue to the next question when the time is up. So we say if count time is equal to 0, the equality operator there, count time is equal to 0, we need to break the break keyword. So this now is going to break out of the loop. The loop is going to break. If that's not the case, it continues to the next question, but we need a little vertical line here, vertical space here. We saw that how, or the function, the use of the vertical space is just going to create a nice space before the second question comes up. So before the next question comes up, so for our convenience, let's just make a line demarcation here. All right, so that's it for the first question. All right, so we could just use the same. Yeah, let's just get this for this next question so that we don't type everything out again. So let's just copy this one, everything, and paste it for the second time. So here we say question 2. We do the same here. Then we say sleep 1. Then we ask this next question, which should be how many months make a year? How many months make a year? Right? Nice questions also, right? Sleep 1. Okay, A, we say A. What should we go for? A here. We'll give it 12. Is it 12? B, is it 365? 365. C, what should we see here? Is it 24? Is it 24 months? 24. All right, so please enter A, B, C to your answer. All right, okay, same thing there. And save count time. Oh, what's this? Count time. What variable is count time? We did, that's a mistake. It should be, that's why I don't like. Okay, you should just copy and paste, makes it easier. See, we're gonna break our code here. There was an error there. There's nothing like count time with small t. We don't have any variable like that. All right, so we're here. Okay, is it 24? And now if count time is okay, so I forgot to explain what this lower stands for. So whatever the user input for A, B, or C, it has to convert it to B. Remember, we're giving these options using the lower cases of alphabet. Okay, so in computing, the computer doesn't the computer sees an uppercase C different from a lowercase c. So we don't want a situation where our answer is in lowercase c and the user enters uppercase C and the system says wrong. Okay, that's the purpose of this lower function. So whatever the user enters, for example, the right answer in this case it's gonna be what's the question again? How many months in a year? So obviously it's gonna be 12. So the proper answer is gonna be A here. So we don't want it to matter whether the user enters an uppercase A or a lowercase a. That's the purpose of this lower function. So if the user enters a lowercase a, of course, lowercase a is going to be converted to lowercase a, which makes no difference, makes no sense at all. All right, so it's going to be converted to that, then check with the proper answer. So in this case, the proper answer should be A. Okay, not C again, because the proper answer is found here. This is the proper answer. So it will check if what the user enters is an A. If the user enters an uppercase A, but the answer is a lowercase a, the uppercase A will be converted to a lowercase a, and then check with this A. If the answer is A, or the user enters A, then the user is correct. Else the user is wrong. So there shouldn't be any ambiguity in that. Okay, so that's what the function is doing there. Okay, and then we follow the same pattern. Everything is the same. Then we can just copy it and paste it for the third question and so forth. Same thing. Obviously this is not the ideal way. The ideal way will be to create a loop. Okay, but this for beginners course, so it doesn't matter. The point is to teach how to code. Okay, now to develop this further, obviously you don't write repeat code like this. This is violating every fundamentals of coding. All right, but that's not our point here. Because in code we don't have to, we are breaking dry rule, like don't repeat yourself. We are repeating ourselves a lot here. That's not our big deal here. We are trying to fulfill a different objective here. Okay, so question 3, we say question 3 there. Do the same thing here. Then how many months? No, that's not the question 3. Our question 3 should be which is not a country in Africa. The third question here, we say which is not a country. No, that's not how you spell country in Africa. Question mark. Do we need this column here? No, we don't. Which is not a country in Africa. Oh no, that's not where I should write it. Oh. So just copy there and then Control Z. Okay, that's not where we should put it. This is where we should put it. All right. Okay. Which is not the country in Africa, and our first choice is A. Is we should put Libya. The first choice should be A is Libya. And then we have what? B. Where is B here? B. Let's have Serbia. I think that's how we spell Serbia, I think. Okay, then C. What should be C here? Serbia, Liberia. Yeah, let's get it right there. Liberia. Yes. All right, so we have Libya, Serbia, Liberia, all the year. So which is not a country in Africa. So let's make sure we default this case is A. So the correct answer here is A. In this case, the correct answer was what? C. Okay, let's try to change it to B here. C, A. Let's change this one to B. So what I'll need to do here, since the correct answer in this case, okay, which is not a country in Africa. Okay, so the correct answer here is B. Okay, that's fine. So we should change this to B. Okay. If answer the lower is B, because Serbia is not in Africa, obviously Liberia is in Africa, Libya is in Africa. Okay, the correct one should be B. So if that's the case, then everything else stays the same. Okay, I think that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, we got out there, and then let's see what's happening here. Yeah, let's let's run this function and see. let's call this function. Let's just test our function. Let's see what is working and what is not working. Let's call the brush. Let's call the countdown, and then let's call the quiz. Quizzy. That's how we did it. Save and run. Time in seconds 10. Okay, our term is all right. We need to close this gap here, right? We don't need that gap there. So our quiz is still running. Okay, our quiz is still running. All right, so our quiz is still running. Well, sorry, our countdown function is running there. Let's close this gap there. Anyway, we're not gonna be printing this time out. We're gonna, because we want to be printing instead. Where's our countdown function? We want to be printing instead. We don't need this space here. This is where the space is. Okay, close that gap. All right, so we need to write a function now that has to play this countdown function. We don't need to print this out. We need to run. We need it to run at the background. I needed to comment this print. Sorry, this is what I wanted to comment out. Okay, save and run. 10. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and it's time up. Okay, that's exactly what we're doing. All right, that's what we want. All right, now let's write a function that starts this program at the background while we're asking the question. So the time is started at the background. Okay, not taking the space. Now we want to run the quiz function, not the countdown function. We want the countdown function to run at the background while we're answering the question. So we come here in between, before the quiz function, we define another function. Okay, let's put a comment there. We say start countdown. Okay, start countdown. So we say def, we say count. Oh no, say start countdown, which is a function. And then we say this is where we use our threading. Now count, we say countdown is equal to, remember our threading that we import here. Yeah, so we want it to play at the background. So we say threading dot thread it's a class, so we're giving it the target is equal to, it's a countdown, not a function. We call it a module. It won't run, it will only start the function over there. It's countdown. Okay, we're targeting the countdown. Okay, targeting, so this thread is targeting this function. Okay, but it's not going to run in here, so that's why we don't have the parentheses here. Whenever you put the parentheses like this, you mean it should run here. No, it referencing this function. Okay, that's its target. Okay, so we're not starting it here, then we are then calling this target to start. So we say count down. No, this is a variable we're talking about. So we're using this variable. What am I writing here? Okay, this variable is accessing that class there, threading, and then we are countdown dot start. We are starting now the countdown. What am I doing here? What's the name of my variable? Countdown dot start. Countdown. Okay, what I'm saying is countdown is equal to thread. Now let's call it countdown thread. Let's say countdown thread to know that this is a thread, not just ordinary countdown variable, right? So let's just say countdown thread. Okay, now we come here, we use that instance to access the method, the start method in that class. Okay, Now we are starting, this will start this function to count down, but in the background, okay, at the same time. So you remember without this, let's run it so you can understand how then you use this to explain. Start and run, save and run. Okay, so what, countdown time 10 seconds. What am I doing now? Oh, I need to call. All right, I've forgotten to call. It's running at the background actually. It's time up, but I need to call the countdown function. So the first thing I do, when I call, no, I'm not calling the countdown. I want the thread to call the countdown. Okay, not that I'm calling the countdown directly myself. So I'm calling the start function. I'm starting the thread. I'm not calling the countdown function directly. I'm just calling the start function, so that the start function can then start the countdown. So you see. So what is it? Where is my, okay, this is my function, countdown function. So I'm calling this countdown function, which will then start this thread. Okay, we will then start this at the background. So while I'm running this program, so when I come here, instead of calling the countdown, I'm not going to call the countdown. I'm going to call the start function to start countdown. When it starts the countdown, that's going to go to the quiz. Okay, let's save this one and run. So enter. So you see, so enter the 10 seconds. Oh, what have I done wrong again? Oh, what is this? Print. Ooh, there's a spelling error there. Line 29. We didn't spell print well. We should go back to school, to elementary school, primary school, to learn how to spell print. Line 21. Oh, let me bring out my line print, show line numbers, so that we know which one is line 29. Line 29. This, oh yeah, this is it. Print, lack of T there. T was missing. The points awarded to me. So obviously, how many months make a year should be 12. So if my answer is A, where was I supposed to give that answer? Here. Oh, what is it? It's not picking everything. All right, well, good for you. Let's run it again. Run it again. 10 seconds. Okay. C, obviously correct. The next answer should be A, obviously. What is it? Oh my, cannot see anything there. Okay, I can see now. Oh, so okay, yeah, I input A. He said, yeah, is this what we're expecting? So I said A, and it says too late because time up was already here. All right, so it didn't give me. So what we want to do now, we need to print out our score, how many I got within that time frame. So I come here. Okay, so this is the end of the second question. The third question. After that, we're going out of this while loop. Okay, we're going out of this while loop. So we're out of this while loop because remember, we keep augmenting the count. What is it? Whenever I get the answer correct, I get 10 points augmented to my total score. So we need to get out of the while loop. This is the level of the while loop here. I need to get out of the while loop here. So I can now say print. Oh no, what am I doing here? Yeah, print. Let's use the F string formatting to add some text with my score variable. So I can say you scored, and my variable now in points. Okay, I close my quotation mark, close my bracket. Or now my variable now goes into this square curly brackets score. Okay, you scored score point, and the score now is the total sum of my scores that I have accumulated during this time. Okay, so let's run this now, save and run. So time 10 seconds. Question 1, which is the capital of Dublin? So our answer is what? C. enter, correct. And I say time's up. Oh, it doesn't matter what I say now because I'm gonna pick up only 10 points, just the first one. So the obvious answer here is A, but I'm not gonna get that point. All right, you see, too late. You scored 10 points. All right, so let's say I didn't run out of. Let me try to do it a little bit faster. See if I can get 20 points out there. Now that I know the answers of it, I'll just be waiting and just typing it in there. Okay. So let's run it again. Run again. Okay, 10 points. Just get ready to type faster. Okay, the first one is C. The second one is A. As soon as it does it. Oh, time is up already. Oh, I wasted a little time over there. Okay, let's try again. I'm gonna try again. Okay, let's just say I got a 15 points. Let me just give 15 seconds. Okay. C. A. Okay. Okay. B. Okay, too late. So I got 20 points. So I got the first one, I got the second one, but then the third one I was a little bit late. The answer is B for real. Oh, yeah, the answer is B for real, Serbia. But I got it late, so I didn't get 30 points. I got only. So this is how you code a quiz game that is on the clock. Okay, so hope you learned something from this. Bye.